Welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff here with co-host Chip. What is going on, Chip? What's going on, everybody out there? I can see you guys out there in the On the Chain family, On the Chain community. Tonight, media lies, media hype, election manipulation, and the big news over the past couple days, Linqto. You guys know who they are, right? Getting sued. Is this bad for XRP? What about XRP fanboys? That's what I want to know.
We all want to know that. We all want to.
Big lawsuit. What's going on with Linqto?
I don't know. We're gonna workshop it. Let's go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
Welcome everybody to On the Chain. You are here with the On the Chain crew.
On the Chain.
Your captain and your co-captain, your co-conspirators in crime here. And we are flying the airplane as we're building it, as they say. So what kind of a show do we have planned? We've got a lot of stuff to get through and not a lot of time, but we'll get through it. London is in the building. This is amazing. I was amazed when London's in the building. It's really
London's
incredible.
in the house. Everyone give a quick shout out where you're tuning in from. That's what we want to know.
It's in the building too.
Come on, John Doe. We gave you ample 20-minute notice to research. 20 minutes.
Yeah, come on,
What's
dude.
going on with Linqto?
We'll go over it.
We may or may not.
We'll go over it. Let's get to some stuff really fast off here. Okay, so if you guys haven't heard, apparently Kamala Harris couldn't make the Joe Rogan interview, but somehow John Fetterman, who knew? John Fetterman got there and made John Fetterman did it. I mean, I give him a lot of credit for going there, and I give him credit, for going there and talking. I mean, God bless him. I mean, nobody else did. I mean, you didn't see, and then JD Vance went there and talked for like 3 or 4 hours. I mean, geez, that was a long one. Some great sound bits from there. And then, so what did she do instead? She went to Saturday Night Live for a 2-minute clip. And although we can't play you the clip, it was pretty cringe, but it was basically her sitting in a mirror interviewing herself. But I liked it the first time when Donald Trump did it. Trump did it first. Remember that? Jimmy Fallon played Trump.
That was 2016.
Yeah. And then they copied it. Look, it's even the same little lights and the same little thing. Of course, Trump has his picture back there. But you see, he's got his hair products there on the thing to make it funny. He's got a comb and a brush, He's got his iPhone sitting there. But needless to say, this wasn't that funny.
Just a glass of water. It was definitely not funny. It was very cringe and just a lot of laughing. And that was it.
It was the same old stupid laughing that nobody understands what she's laughing for. If you guys haven't been paying attention, there was a little the guy had a pet squirrel, and it was a TikTok star. It was like the name was Peanut, and the guy basically took it in. It was abandoned, nursed it back to health, and kept it for 7 years, and turned it into a TikTok phenomenon. The little guy was named Peanut, and he had a raccoon named Fred. Yep. And so some woman in Texas heard about it or saw it on TikTok, and she kept calling to New York to complain that the guy had a squirrel and he had a raccoon. So with like three cop cars showed up, and they basically broke into the guy's house. They had a search warrant. They took the squirrel, they took Fred, the raccoon, and they euthanized them.
This is why you don't live in New York State. New York, guess what? Sucks.
Can they control?
You guys gotta hear about that.
The illegal immigrants coming in? No. Can they arrest some of the murderers that are happening? No. They had a guy with a pet squirrel, so that kicked off,
and they killed his squirrel.
They killed it. They euthanized it.
They euthanized it. They did nothing, and they lied about it. They said that one of their police officer handlers got bit by the squirrel. Well, you know what? You're a P***SSY.
Yeah,
what these guys are. Yeah, but you know what? F New York State. I have no goodwill towards New York State ever since they turned into this leftist cesspool. And unfortunately, most of upstate New York, and hopefully it changes and it turns, and we can have a different of opinion on New York, like California. But it just, I'm so emotional about New York. My family comes from New York, that at this point I just have no positive feelings towards that state. And I feel bad because I have family and friends there. I'm like, what are you guys still doing there? Like, why would you want to be in a state like that?
Horrible.
You know, it's just always negative. Similar to like Michigan. Michigan's also going through, you know, this turn. And New York City used to be, you know, one of the greatest cities on earth. And you see what's happening to it. The thing is that the people that live there have allowed it to happen. And that's the unfortunate part about it. I really hope that there's a wake up and that it turns, because the majority of New York State is conservative, you know, and we need to see an about phase. We need to see them take it back. And then, you know, we can be proud of the state again. But I'm just proud not to live in a state that's like that. It's just, you know, horrible. Obviously, bad things happen everywhere. But for them to take the time out of their day to go take a squirrel and a raccoon then they were saved. And these individuals rescue other animals. They were rescue animals. It wasn't like they purposely went out and, you know, caught a wild squirrel just for the heck of it to put them on TikTok.
He also had a nonprofit too that raised a lot of money from these TikTok videos that helped find homes for, you know, from strays or things that were caught. They placed a lot of animals. So that I mean, somebody's actually doing good in the world, and you had to break in and break this guy's heart and actually kill his squirrel. And then, you know, people forgot about. I saw the memes out there with Fred holding a thing of the raccoon saying they killed me too. You know, it's like. It's pretty sad that this is the state of New York. This is what's important. So that kicked off a whole meme revolution. I just grabbed some of the better ones. Yeah, take back New York City. So I grabbed some of them. Saw the you know, the squirrels. There were some really fantastic memes here. This one here, Trump 2024, with the squirrels holding the signs. You know, AI is great for this kind of stuff. Right here, some cool icons. There's been a demand to change from the elephant, because someone made a good point. They're like, elephants don't even live in the U.S. Why don't we change it to the squirrel, which live here in the U.S., right? So people want to change it to the squirrel. Here's a cool
squirrel would be pretty cool.
I think it would be kind of cool because it's got a little Trump hair on there.
The squirrels are,
you know, it's like this one, justice for Peanut. You know, I mean, it's man.
A squirrel.
Look at this one, don't tread on me.
Tread on me.
Peanut.
Oh my God, that's best. That's awesome.
Just fantastic. Another one, don't tread on me. You know, it's like, it's some guy posted on X. He goes, are we effing going to win an election because of a squirrel? I mean, because it created this whole sort of insane.
Maybe the animal killers didn't take the rabies vaccine. Exactly. That was their whole claim. Is like, oh, they had to hold it for just in case he had rabies. And in that case, you hold it for a period of time, you test it.
Right. Or you don't kill the squirrel. I mean, This one here, come and get it.
They did it on purpose.
Another one, come and get it. I like this little guy. He's adventurous. And then this one, there he is. There's Peanut right there. Make them animals safe again. And yeah, there was all kinds of them. Look at this one here. How did you win the Great Revolt of 2024? I posted memes of squirrels murdered by a fascist state. Legend. The kid's like legend. It's fantastic, man. Jeff, what do you think about this right here? This is an interesting one here. Look at the MAGA hats on. It's kind of a big squirrel. I'll be honest with you. That's a big ass squirrel right there.
That is a big ass squirrel.
Monster squirrel. There's another one. Cute little buddy. Look at that one. It's a little Trump one.
Here's what I was looking for. Hang on.
Head here. I saw this one. Oops. Look at. What do you think about this? Is this like having fun, or is this having fun at someone else's expense? So David,
they talk about a squirrel.
No, they're not talking about the squirrel anymore. We're talking about David. David Schwartz put this post up on X, and he said, "Whoa, licensed notary public and a youth coaching legend, 3-year letterman follows me. I'm going to celebrate by paying off my waterbed and having dinner at Beef O'Brady's. It's Wing Wednesday, baby."
Who's 3-year letterman?
And so this guy named 3-year letterman, who's a youth football coaching legend, our Georgia fan, 3-year letter school football letterman, show-stopping little league umpire, and a region champion 3-way tie. But he was just saying, wow, he can't believe a notary public and a youth coaching legend is following him. He's going to celebrate off his waterbed. Remember waterbeds?
I do remember waterbeds. Weren't those like a 70s, right? Was that 70s or
70s
early
or
80s?
yeah, they were big in the early 80s too, I think.
So, was it?
They were just like, I don't know why they thought that was a good idea.
Alchemist Peanut died from holding XRP. That's probably true too. That could be. They finally had to put him down. They're like, you know what? You held this too long.
He died of a broken heart.
You died of a broken heart.
Poor ass Peanut. Jeez, poor ass Peanut. He didn't die of a broken heart. Let's go to some polling here. Like somebody asked that. This is Atlas Intel, one of the more prominent, more accurate pollsters out there. But they've got Harris and Trump in the swing states. So in North Carolina, they got Trump up by 50 to 47.
Swinging.
In Georgia, 50 to 47. Arizona, 52 to 45. Nevada, 51 to 46. And Wisconsin, it's a shocker. It's neck and neck, really. But Mark Halperin, as we saw yesterday when we played that clip, was talking about the fact that he's been told that it's going Trump. So I don't know. Michigan, again, neck and neck, 48.2 to 49.7. But Pennsylvania is the play. Pennsylvania
is big.
If she loses Pennsylvania, there is no path. It's over. Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, those are big. So those two are going to be really incredibly.
They're trying to cheat. You know, they're trying to push the illegal vote. They're trying everything they can do. Michigan used to be a conservative state also. So Michigan still has an opportunity to come back. Wisconsin has an opportunity. New York has an opportunity. You know, and so there's all these states at play. Now, here's the whole point of all of it also, and JD Vance was speaking earlier today, and he said something very poignant. Is that they have Democrats and independents that are supporting the movement right now. So you're seeing a bleeding of the colors, red and blue, right, coming and coalescing within MAGA. So Make America Great Again, supporting Trump, supporting JD Vance. We have people from all parties, you know, coming together. So obviously Republicans, we've got Democrats, we've got independents, and people are waking up to the point that it's time to set the country back on track. And so it's a very, very crucial and very decisive victory that's going to be needed to send a reverberation, you know, through the next decade. But it's not just for this country that it's critical. It's really going to reverberate across the world. And we're seeing people gathering all over the world that are hoping for a positive outcome, whether it's Australia or over in the UK, in Japan, South Korea. You go country by country, and there's solidarity movements that understand the significance of a Donald Trump victory. Over here, if you just go south of our border, Argentina, El Salvador, already moving in the right direction. Italy, over in Europe, moving in the right direction. You have a lot of Netherlands moving in the right direction. There's a lot of embracing of understanding that this seismic shift over to the left that has been artificially forced in that direction is coming to an end. The pendulum is now swinging. It's coming back center right. It's going to be right of center, and it's happening, you know, across the world. The kingpin, what's going to solidify it, is victory on Tuesday for a Donald Trump presidency. That's going to be the shift, and that's what's going to allow freedom to come back and win across the world. It's also going to allow for the end of this movement to force illegal immigration and to force people into a country without assimilation. So it's interesting because I can remember back in, it was in the 80s, Israel had liberated a lot of Jews out of Ethiopia and brought these people from Ethiopia to Israel, and they came in a pretty large number. Many of them didn't have running water. They didn't have indoor plumbing. They didn't have indoor toilets. They didn't have indoor stoves. They didn't understand the modern convenience of society. They had to educate them. And so and this was in the 80s. And so what we're seeing now, you go to places like Ohio, where you have a population of 30,000, and they're bringing 30,000 people in from Africa, and they're not assimilating into our Western culture. They're still bringing them with an expectation they'll just get along, but they're bringing the culture that they left here, and it doesn't work. It's in conflict. And there has to be a point where when people immigrate to a country and they're brought in and you do it legally, there's a point of assimilation. And so there's so many points to all of this, Chip, and it's just, and I think this is what people are waking up to. I didn't mean to go on a little bit of a rant.
I think you have to, Jeff. It's
Yeah.
important rant. But two things that I wanted to, who was talking about this in the chat? Gosh, right there. Yeah, so the Iowa polls, what's up with that? Yeah, so here's what's up with that. Keep your eye on the prize, man. There's going to be lots of deflection. There's going to be lots of fake polls put out there and all kinds of stuff. But I can pretty much assure you that one of the things we're not going to worry about is Iowa. Okay, no one's worried about Iowa because here you go. Here's a poll. Final Iowa poll. This is the Emerson poll. Trump 53 to 43. Okay, in 2020, the RCP average had Trump at +2, and he ended up winning by +8. So Trump's up by 10 in Iowa. It bodes very well for neighboring Wisconsin. So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't believe any of this stuff. And these polls are garbage. And the problem is like you used to be able to go look at the poll, right? You go analyze the poll. Now it's just a quick sound bite. It's a quick post on X. But I used to like to go look at the subject group, right? And I like to see, and most of the times when they poll them, they poll 75, 80% Democrat, a few independents in there. And sometimes there's only 5, 10, 15% Republicans. Okay. So it's like, yeah, okay. And then of course I like to look at the questions. How do they ask them? Are they leading questions? And then they derive this thing that the polls this, and this is where they're at. I don't know that I buy any of that, quite honestly. It all seems poppycock, Jeff. It's garbage, man. It's pure garbage. I don't believe it at all. Something you mentioned before, Jeff. I want to put this up. Tulsi Gabbard. This is something you mentioned, but listen to what she talks about when her and RFK Jr. have appeared together. This is pretty interesting.
Share some of the really incredible and unique experiences we've had. That event that we just held in Madison, Wisconsin a few days ago. At every one of these events that I've been doing with Bobby Kennedy, I ask the audience, raise your hand if you're a Democrat or a former Democrat. And in almost every event, somewhere between 35 to 50% of the room will raise their hand. It was no different in Madison. The cool thing was this, though, when their hands went up, there's probably a couple thousand people in the hall there. The rest of the audience started to turn around and look around, and they all stood up and cheered and welcomed them and just surrounded them really with love and kindness. And I had so many people come up to me at the end of that saying, I came in here afraid. I've never been to a political rally before. I didn't know what to expect. I'm a Democrat, lifelong Democrat, never voted before. Different variations of this, but each walking out saying, I'm voting for Donald Trump because of what I experienced here today.
Man, look at that. Backs up exactly what you were talking about, Jeff. It's incredible.
Incredible.
So, it's a big tent, man. It's a big tent. Everybody's welcome.
That's right.
Come on in. Come on in. I remember Brad Kimes used to say that. I think he still says that. Come on in. Does he still say that, Jeff?
Who's that?
Brad Kimes. Come on in.
No idea. John Doe saying, to me, polls seem like a concerted effort to influence the actual outcome. I believe almost every polling entity has a dog in the fight and tailors their product towards that end goal or towards that goal. It's true. So true.
Yeah. So let's go into this. Let's talk about this lawsuit here that was filed. And it's interesting, Jeff, because, people have reached out to us from Linqto and have asked us if we wanted to be a sponsor. Didn't feel right to us, so we declined. We never wanted to become a sponsor. I don't have anything ill will towards the organization. I don't know. It just didn't seem right for us. Crypto Eddie put this out. Lawsuit against Linqto, Bill Saras and Joe Endesso. Details emerging. Insider trading, front running. Use of unlicensed brokers. Linqto advertised 750,000 users when the actual number was 10,000 and 30% were unaccredited. So you're just like, okay, what does that matter? Well, that's another offense, but that's another coming later. Unconscionably high and undisclosed markups, sometimes exceeding 150% above what FINRA recommendations, with algorithms set to increase the price each time until a unit was purchased, or each time a unit was purchased. Employees would expedite friend sales to avoid the auto increase ahead of Linqto customers. Linqto did not disclose they made the market in securities they offered, creating FOMO marketing techniques, falsely claiming shares were about to sell out. Their marketing techniques certainly crossed the line. They circumvented SEC Rule 506B. Investors were not buying shares, even though this was in their marketing. Remember, Jeff? That's all we heard. You're buying a share, right? Not buying shares. No compliance vetting in certain countries. An internal test was created and only 50% passed, yet the test did not meet FINRA standards and more. And you can see everything here. The full complaint is up here online to reach. And is this coming through? Yeah, it is. Okay, so here it is right here.
Really long. It's really long.
And this guy, Gene Zarotny, he was their chief revenue officer from January 2024 to, I don't know, maybe April, only maybe 4 months. And he's the one that brought the suit, kind of a whistleblower, I guess, but I don't know if it's bad blood or if he really had, he's, again.
And the complaint said he brought it to their attention and was fired as a result. That's part of the complaint.
That's part of the complaint too. So you don't know if it's sour grapes, if any of this happened. This is an ongoing litigation. So, I mean, for us to comment on it, we're just presenting what's happened. We don't know if any of this is true or not. Obviously we don't know, but yeah, you can read the whole thing, and she's done a pretty good job of summarizing it. So there it is, right there.
Right. But when you look at, you can find Gene on LinkedIn, and you can see his history, career history. So
yeah, I thought there was one more. I thought there was one more too, but no. I think that was it. Let's see. Was there any other comments here?
Not really.
No, I don't think so. I was looking to see if there's something else, maybe some color that was added, but not really.
Nothing yet.
We'll see.
I think they just dropped. So as it digs in, those are big allegations. Really, really big allegations.
Yeah, we don't know the validity, if they're true, if it was sour grapes, if the guy was doing something wrong and got fired, and so he just wanted to, who knows.
Right.
I think DEI was, I think he had him as a sponsor. I think so. I remember seeing him.
Yeah.
Also Cops too. I think they were big sponsors of the and again, I know Ray Fuentes when he was there, and Ray was always an outstanding dude. I mean, I didn't know the company, but Ray is an amazing dude. Friendly with him, chat with him often. He's a dude, I don't know. Again, these are allegations. It's an ongoing court case. Who knows? We'll find out, I guess, if it's true or not. Yeah. Don't be. Well, brings up something good. Don't be scared. Smashing the like button and it is fantastic. We do recommend that you do that. So thank you, Crypto Whelp. He's not our biggest fan from Belgium, man. Biggest fan, maybe in Europe. I don't know, but he's one of our biggest fans. Never misses. Jeff's having a coughing attack. I can see him in the green. He's in the green room having a coughing. He's still going. Is it a sneeze attack? I can't tell. It looks like maybe was that a sneeze attack? Or was that a cough attack? What was that, Jeff? Now we don't hear you. That's
my eyes are all runny too all of a sudden.
What's going on, Jeff?
So I'm falling apart.
Falling apart right on camera, man. This doesn't make any sense. Hey, Jeff. So let's talk about Harris. So Harris was at somebody. What I love about Axe, and I'm never deleting that app. I don't know who has time to notice all this stuff, but somebody does, and I'm happy that someone noticed all kinds of stuff that they post about it, and then I can just post it with my comments. It's fantastic.
Awesome. It's the best.
Watch these two clips back to back here. Everything about Harris is scripted. Everything. It's the same reaction, Jeff. Watch it. The fake surprise.
great. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my God.
It's the same.
It's horrible.
Anybody here already voted?
Look at Hillary when the balloons came down.
Oh my goodness. That's great. Thank you. Thank you.
Even turns the same direction. Did she practice that? I mean, did she have to practice that to get that right?
She must have.
It's insane,
The
Jeff.
smile, the look, the movement. She's an automation.
She's
What
a
are those
programmer.
things, those automatrons. What are those
She's
things
not a
called?
good version of it. So this guy went to Trump. I mean, a Kamala Harris rally, and he was just asking people about Trump. This is interesting.
Right.
Tell me a bit about Trump's agenda and what about it is most scary, most concerning to you?
He says that he's going to take anybody who disagrees with him and put them in jail. And from there, he's going to deport them out of the United States altogether.
And I think he wants to basically turn this into a white Christian nation, which it is not.
He hates everyone. He hates his followers, and he will totally try to destroy all life on earth before he dies. That's who the Trump is.
Oh my God.
If I didn't know this, I would think this is some
These
kind of
people
like
are
one of those
crazy.
psychotic like events, like in life.
Right.
Like people seem like they're seriously ill. I mean, this woman here, love tells truth on there. Or is that? Yeah, love tells truth. Wearing a mask and some kind of a get up. I don't know what's going on with her.
Who knows
The other guys,
what that is? He or she or
Guacamole?
whatever it
I
is.
don't know. It just seems like there's like a serious
It's
mental illness.
crazy. The majority.
You think
of
that the red
And this one here, she said, she wants to turn into a Christian. Like, that's weird. I don't ever remember talking about that. Am I crazy or is these people insane? Psychosis.
That's what it is.
Mass psychosis, man.
Face mask.
Yeah. You lost me there at the face mask. And it's one of those cloth ones, you know, it's stopping everything. I always thought to myself, look, I wasn't like big on science or a math guy. But if you think about the fact that a mask that has, you know, you can breathe through it, right? You can breathe, the water molecules can go through it, air can go through it. And if you look at like a mic, they say that like a virus is like several microns, and those openings are like 60 microns. And I'm not a genius, Jeff, but I'm like 60 or 3 or 4 microns. Like it can go through that. So why are we wearing the mask? I mean, tell me why we're breathing through these things, but it's going to stop a virus.
That's right.
I don't understand. I guess I don't know much about science. That's about, there it is.
rhetoric of him being a Nazi or
That's who the Trump is.
do you think that the rhetoric of him being a Nazi or a fascist might encourage other people who are going to try and take him out, you know, violently?
I mean, I don't know if that's the leap I would make. I think it is a totally reasonable assumption. I mean, Elon Musk is wearing a Make America Great hat in the Nazi font. That was definitely the vibe there. It was frightening and disgusting.
He is. He's a damn Nazi. He's a fascist. Of course he is.
Yes, I think he's a full fascist authoritarian.
This guy takes it right here. This is even better because if you're going to wear a mask, wear it at your chin.
That's right.
You're wearing it all, right? Just put it right in your chin.
Of course he is. Of course he is. These
A full fascist authoritarian.
What I will say to you.
I realized in the beginning, but this guy's holding a balloon that's got the swastika on it, Jeff.
Yeah, I saw.
I mean,
These people are
why is he holding a balloon swastika at a Harris rally in the first place? I was an actual scientist and I knew it was all bullshit. Oh,
right.
good. I feel much better now, B-Mac.
Is if he wins in November, it is going to be the birth of the American Nazi Party with him as the top of it.
What do you think America looks like if Trump wins? I mean, we've been hearing that he's a fascist or that he's a Nazi. Do you
COVID is 60 to 120 microns. Okay. The M95 mask is 95% effective against particles over 300 microns. What?
right. Over 300. So
What?
obvious. And it's not
agree
really
with those
meant-
characterizations of him?
Yeah, he's the most repulsive person in public life.
He's a floating island of trash. Him and his supporters.
If you can't tell
Look at that guy's wild hair too. These people are nuts.
Trump is the most blatantly obvious criminal of all time, oh, you. You committed treason, and we hate your ever guts.
You have a binary choice. You can either vote for a good qualified politician, or you can.
God.
Qualified politician. Is that Harris? My God, please. Yeah,
It's part doesn't work.
doesn't work. It doesn't work at all.
Vote for the Donald Trump, who is a big red pimple on the act of the American body politic.
I hope he goes to prison. I think he should go to prison. The guy's a criminal. He's so corrupt.
And we definitely need to not have Trump be around anymore.
We have to come out and stop them. They don't get to be the Nazis on our street. They don't get to turn our police into, their Gestapo. F them. If they want to bring on the violence, America will kick their ass.
Well, thank you very much. Any last messages you want to leave the audience with?
Yeah, love wins in the end.
Yeah.
Okay. It does win in the end. That was some bizarre stuff right there, Jeff, right? Am I crazy or what? My God, that was insane, these people.
People are crazy.
I mean, the amount of mass,
crazy
psychosis going on. This lady here, listen to this. She lives in Portland. Listen.
Let's see.
What is your city doing for the election? Because this is what mine's doing.
More cities.
Portland is slowly preparing for election night.
Love you, bye.
I mean, why would they be boarding
have,
up expecting riots? And who would riot?
But they don't have the Proud Boys to protect them like they had before. I'm sure they're out there.
I don't understand. Like, who's actually going to be rioting? I mean, who's actually going to be doing the damage?
Antifa.
I don't know. Jeff, Jordan Peterson is a very bright individual, and he's great on podcasts, but he's here talking to this, snippety presenter here, and
this guy,
this is
he
a short clip.
People.
Yeah, watch this. Watch how he handles this one. This is great.
Should your right to freedom of speech
Oh.
trump a trans person's right not to be offended?
Because in order to be able to think, you have to risk being offensive. I mean, look at the conversation we're having right now. Like, you're certainly willing to risk offending me in the pursuit of truth. Why should you have the right to do that? It's been rather uncomfortable.
So you haven't sat there and
he's like,
I'm just trying to work that out. I mean,
ha, gotcha.
You have got me. I'm trying to work that through in my head. Yeah. It took a while.
It did. Yeah.
It took a while.
That's that's the best.
It's so funny.
I got you. She was like,
oh, damn.
One way, you mean other people can be offended by my stupid shit? What? I'm just trying to work that out in my head. I get you. She was honest. She's like, I'm trying to figure it out.
That's the best.
I'm trying to work it out, man. I don't know. I'm not really, haven't really come to terms with it yet. That's just phenomenal, man. You gotta love that. And then Jeff, you remember yesterday you played the Ricky G. Hi everybody. This is Ricky G.
Edited that one up a little bit.
So somebody put it on there with some pictures, and I almost think it's funnier now. Listen to this.
Hi guys, Ricky G here, wellness and beauty influencer. As a celebrity, I know all about stuff, like science and politics. So trust me when I tell you who you should vote for. If you don't vote the right way, that's like a hate crime, and it makes me sad and angry, and I'll leave the country, and you don't want that.
The best of the pictures. By the way, that's Madonna right there. I think my favorite post this year. My favorite post this year was, who would have guessed it in 1985 that Roseanne Barr would look better? Nobody would have called that Roseanne Barr would have looked better than Madonna in 2025, right? 2024, right? Who would have guessed it?
Right.
And Roseanne Barr answered, "Oh, she said, oh bullshit, I knew it." Right. Like, this is the greatest app ever. X. She looks some kind of like a demon. She's only like in her early 60s. I don't know what's going on.
Very strange. Who knows?
Weird. You remember the politician Michelle Bachmann? Remember she used to be in the Senate?
Yeah.
Yeah. She was talking at some ad today. I'm like, geez, I wonder how old she is. She's 69 years old. She looks like a normal person. I don't know what's going on with this person.
They get a lot of surgery.
Yeah, a lot of surgery. I don't know, man. That's a lot of weird stuff going on there.
Lots and lots.
Gosh, we have more clips than we've ever had, like I think ever.
Just got video after video. Just keep throwing them up.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about this right here. This is great. I don't know who did this, who pulled this off, but I'd love to just go shake their hand. Look at this, Jeff. Can't fix
stupid.
ugly. Can't fix it, man. Somebody pulled off an amazing prank. Listen to this.
I put a lawn sign in my front yard, and I don't think I should be subjected to these fraudulent mailers.
When this 50-year-old Shrewsbury woman put up a Harris wall sign in front of her home, she just wanted to show her support. She never imagined she would be subjected to a campaign dirty trick.
It really creeped me out.
She was dismayed when the mail arrived this week and she received this postcard. It purports to be from the Harris campaign, thanking her for putting up a sign and alerting her a family from Nicaragua would be moving into her home.
That's when I realized it was an obvious attempt to try to either scare me or rage bait me and make me upset.
It's absolutely a scare tactic.
Suffolk.
This is the greatest thing ever. I mean, look. And look at the mailer. It's great how they wrote it in too. Like, thank you. We're so appreciative of you putting a yard sign. Oh,
your home.
We'll be moving into a family of two from the country of into your home on October 30th, 2024. They will need food, toiletries, and transportation. Thank you. This is fantastic. It really is. Whoever did this, I mean, they went there.
The hypocrites.
Yeah, the hypocrites. That was when they went up to that one dude live, and he had a sign. He said, "Here, three migrants. Can you take them in?" And he started moving their stuff in the house. See, this is how they're all gaslighting. They're all full of shit. They're cool with illegal migration until they camp out on their front lawn or want to use their house
until they have to pay for it.
Right?
Once they have to pay for it.
No,
not gonna happen.
So much.
Not gonna happen.
Yeah, they're kind of like
not gonna happen.
That is effing great. That is like the greatest thing ever, man. You gotta love these people, man. You just gotta love them. Let's see what else we have here.
Man, all politics all the time.
Trying to find another. Yeah, let's go with this Ron Paul clip. Remember Ron Paul? A lot of people thought he was crazy back in the day. He thought he was a little bit nuts, but now it sounds like our show, Jeff. It sounds a little bit like On the Chain here, but let's listen in.
This is a clip from 20 years early.
Everyone listen to him. They laugh at him. Listen, they think it's the craziest
shit.
Shit
how they were laughing at him too.
Well, I just heard Ron Paul in his podcast was talking about, the fact that JD Vance brought it up, and he was saying, "Yeah, I'd love to have a conversation. Let's go. Let's do it. I'm happy. I'd help you any way we can."
Taxes and spending. You say that you would eliminate the IRS, the CIA, the Federal Reserve, the Department of Homeland Security, Medicare. I know that you used to want to end the FBI. I'm not sure whether you still support that idea, sir.
They're chuckling.
Perhaps you can tell us. But if you get rid of the CIA, let alone the FBI, how would President Paul have any idea, any intelligence of what our enemies, foreign and domestic, are up to?
Well, you might ask a better question. Before 9/11, we were spending $40 billion a year. And the FBI was producing numerous information about people being trained on airplanes to fly them but not land them. And they totally ignored them. So it's the inefficiency of the bureaucracy that is the problem. So increasing this with the Department of Homeland Security and spending more money doesn't solve the problem. Yes, we have every right in the world to know something about intelligence gathering, but we have to have intelligent people interpreting this information. But just going for increasing presidential powers, as been discussed, is rather disturbing to me. This whole idea that we're supposed to sacrifice liberty for security, we were advised against that. Don't we remember that when you sacrifice liberty for security, you lose both? That's what's happening in this country today. We have a national ID card on our doorsteps. It's being implemented right now. We have FISA courts. We have warrantless searches. We've lost habeas corpus. We've had secret prisons around the world, and we have torture going on. That's un-American, and we need to use the power of the presidency to get it back in order to take care of us and protect this country and our liberties.
Thank you, Congressman.
They thought he was a nut.
It's amazing. Now it's amazing you listen to him now, and you're like, holy crap, spot on.
Yeah,
spot on. All these things have been happening.
There, I mean, for sure, And then as we talk more about the the Harris campaign or the White House here.
There we go.
All right. The White House continues to buy votes. Here's an unreported story. You'll never get this on the corporate media.
No.
So did you know that after the garbage comment, that the White House has given the University of Puerto Rico $5 million, just wrote a check. And all told, 19 million in grants to schools that serve Hispanic students. Now, I don't, that's fine. But after the Madison Square Garden thing, and you write a check to the University of Puerto Rico for $5 million, you're buying votes. And here's something worse. The Harris campaign, which has $1 billion, is writing checks too. And one of the organizations that is receiving money from the Harris campaign is Black Voters Matter Fund. Black Voters Matter Fund. I never heard of this. Did you ever hear of it? It's a nonprofit. Okay? So this group has received hundreds of thousands of dollars from the Harris campaign. This group, Black Voters Matter, has called for the defunding of American police. I'll take all the money away from the police, okay? And they want reparations for slavery. I told you that Kamala Harris supports reparations for slavery to the tune of hundreds of billions of dollars. That's income redistribution. That's the way to take money from the general tax fund and give it to selected groups, reparations for slavery. It's impossible to regulate that. What are you going to trace every single African American's ancestry? Can't regulate it. Harris supports that. Do you know that? Has that been reported? Unbelievable.
There you go. Somebody was saying that Bill's looking old. Well, Bill's 75 now.
How old is he?
75 years old.
75. That's why he's looking old.
He's looking like he's 75. I mean, you know.
But he actually looks pretty good.
I mean, he does.
All things considered.
Even a while, but yeah. Since he got kicked off.
Well.
All right. The White House continues to buy votes.
I mean, he looks pretty good.
Bad, man. I mean, it looks all right. For 75.
He's hanging in there, doing his cast.
Yeah, he's doing his thing.
Really, really good.
Yeah,
it's nice when you can print your own money.
It's good. It's a good gig if you can get it.
All right, this next one.
Better than Madonna. That's a good point.
It does.
Better than Madonna.
This next one is a interesting one because if you think back to the Biden administration's pullout of Afghanistan and leaving billions of dollars of military hardware behind. All right.
Billions.
Now billions. Now we can play the next one.
The simplest way I could say it right here, right now, American taxpayer money, your tax dollars, are funding the Taliban right now. And this has been going on since September 2021. On a weekly basis, the United States, the current administration, Mr. Joe Biden, has been sending $40 million, not from his own checking account. It's the U.S. payers, Americans' tax dollars. He's sending them $40 million cash every week that ends up in Afghanistan. And it's a very complex system. The money goes to the Afghanistan International Bank that lacks any authority to convert this dollar to Afghani, to auction it, right? And so this money, AIB gives it to the Taliban-controlled Central Bank of Afghanistan. When I say Central Bank, think Federal Reserves. So the money goes there. Now, who is in charge of Afghanistan's central bank right now? Nur Ahmad Agha, sanctioned terrorist, sanctioned by the United States for financing IED attacks against our soldiers that killed American soldiers. He runs the central bank. He gets $40 million every week. Now, once the money reaches the central bank, they hold what is called a bidding and auctioning session, where they invite individuals that are involved with the Hawala system, licensed money dealers. They invite them, and they're bidding. Everyone bids on who wants to buy this dollar and for.
I mean, we kind of knew that, but it's kind of interesting to get another perspective that that's what's happening. It's incredible, Jeff.
We keep seeing it over and over and over again.
About it. Here's $5 billion. Here's this, and all of a sudden there's an attack on Israel. I mean, like, where do you think the funding came from? It's just, and we know it. It's been investigated. I mean, but does anything ever happen? Never.
Nope.
Never happens, Jeff. Nothing ever happens. It's same old garbage stuff. But you know, it turns out the people are waking up.
So you know, I didn't vote for Donald Trump in 2016. I didn't vote for Donald Trump in 2020. Okay. It was a great big awakening for me in the last 4 years, and it's a loss to the Democratic Party. They don't realize that just because you voted in the past means you're going to be loyal in the future. Your actions do actually matter.
Yeah, I think people see it a lot easier now because we've had Trump before. And we've had Kamala Harris and Biden and how bad it's been. You know, people are waking up. Can I ask you who you voted for in 2020 or in 2016?
Unfortunately, I voted for Hillary Clinton and I voted for Joe Biden. And it was Joe Biden was a catastrophic error. Yeah. You know, and again, it was me listening to mainstream media. And once all the independent people like yourself started coming out and, you know, giving us more information, I was like, well, wait a minute, I need to research this.
So you'd say that social media and independent journalism is helping?
Oh, 1,000%.
Amazing.
There you go.
That's why they hated losing Twitter, Jeff. That's why they hated losing Twitter. They can't control the narrative. Ban the news they don't like. These aren't the people.
Thank God for X.
Like, it's the same thing. It's the same side of the same coin. Yeah, okay. So they want, how about the clip where she's talking about they can come in and take your guns and everything? And then I got into a leftist Brit today where he was saying, well, that's just an opinion. I'm like, no, the Second Amendment is very clear, shall not be infringed. There are no things you're going to write about weapons. You have them. That's it. It's over. It will not be infringed. Done. End of list. There are opinions on it. There is no, unless you want to go change it, which we'd have to call, you know, you'd have to do a, what's that called? Yeah, I think you need at least 35 or 40 states to have a constitutional convention.
Convention of the states.
States, yeah. That takes what, I forgot what the number is, but yeah, it's, unless you want to change it, that's what's going to happen. But outside of that, and then this is what we've heard. The people that were calling Donald Trump the Nazi, the fascist, the followers are garbage. Here's the news media with basically lies, Jeff. Basically lies.
News. Donald Trump took his violent rhetoric to a new extreme, suggesting the former Republican Congresswoman should be fired upon.
That's not what he said. Not what he said at all. And yet I show up at breakfast, and my very good friend, who's a Trump supporter, told me that Trump said Liz Cheney should be executed. Where would he get that from? Oh, wait. The corporate media that lies to you.
Right now on ABC News Live, he suggested 9 barrels of a firing squad aimed right at her.
Donald Trump declaring before a crowd that Cheney should be put before a firing line.
Turns out it's not true. President Trump was talking about Liz Cheney as a warmonger, and that she should go into battle with a rifle and see what it's like to be fired at before you send our young men into battle.
She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. You know, when the guns are trained on her face. You know, they're all war hawks when they're sitting in Washington in a nice building saying, oh, gee, let's send 10,000 troops right into the mouth of the enemy.
The corporate media is devious. They are liars. But most of all right now, they're desperate. This is more proof. President Trump has to win on Tuesday in order for us to save this republic.
Notice he properly referred to it as a republic, Jeff. He didn't say save democracy. Save democracy.
That's right. To the republic.
The republic. To which the stands. Who was it that came out of one of the when they were ratifying the Constitution, and they said, "What do we have? Do we have a king? Do we have a thing? We have a republic if you can keep it." That's what it was. Ben Franklin that said that. If you can keep it, Here's another dude. Check this out. What's amazing to me is you hear maybe it's circumstantial evidence, but you hear Tulsi Gabbard talking about 30 to 40 or 50% of the people there. My X feed is loaded with all kinds of, like, just hundreds of them.
Yep.
And I'm just, this is like nothing I've ever seen. They have the walk away movement where someone posts the thing.
That was
but it's a new level, Jeff. Look at this guy.
After 44 years as a citizen of the United States of America, today was the first day that I ever voted. Now, a lot of people are probably thinking, why didn't you ever vote before, jackass? Everybody has their reasons, and that's a fair question. So here are mine. Number one, I always believe that regardless of who's in office, I'm going to live my life the way I want, and I'll never let any presidential party change that. To me, it didn't matter who was in office because I'm just going to navigate my life around their policies. Number two, I don't like the unnecessary division that it causes. People only want to seem to argue their side and not hear the other, and nothing productive ever gets accomplished without healthy discussion and diverse perspectives. Number three, I didn't feel like I knew enough about politics to make an informed decision one way or another. Most of my time was spent with other interests. Number four, I trusted that the bipartisan government process would keep our country balanced. And even though today was the first day that I voted, I've always leaned Democrat and would have voted Democrat if I went to the polls in prior elections. But not today. Today I voted for Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, and the Team America that they've assembled to make our country great again. Here's why. Put the politics aside for a second and let's talk about the characteristics of a leader. If you ask somebody a direct question and they deflect, gaslight, or point fingers elsewhere, they're probably full of shit. Kamala does this on a regular basis. The other characteristic of somebody who deflects from these types of important discussions is that they typically lack accountability. Trump came right out and said that he didn't know what he was doing the first time he got into office. But now that he has the experience, he's prepared ahead of the election so that he does not make the same mistakes twice. That's called accountability and how successful people operate in business and life. And whether you like him or not, Trump is authentically himself always. Kamala is constantly pretending to be someone she is not to appeal to the people that she is speaking to. Sounds a little manipulative if you ask me. Finally, any candidate or campaign is going to appeal to their voters by sharing why somebody should vote for them and not their opposition. But if all you're doing is speaking badly about the other person and not addressing the issues and problems that you should be working to solve, then I doubt you have anything of substance to bring to the table.
I thought that was incredibly potent for a guy that, and even him admitting like he never did. Yeah, how come jackass? He even called himself a jackass. I think that was pretty interesting.
There you go, Mark. President Trump directly saved my company and 17 American jobs in 2018. I don't need imagery. I've seen actual results. Democrats tried to destroy us and send our jobs elsewhere. Thank you, Trump. And there you go.
It's incredible, man.
How about this one?
Okay, I've got two Trump ads to play here.
When the oldest and most well-known of the Democrat Party switches sides, it just shows you the far left is taking over the party. And they're not real Democrats.
That's right.
Things have shifted.
It used to be the party of the working class, no more. It used to be the party of no war, no more. I mean, it's turned into just a shit show, man.
It's crazy.
I mean, Bobby Kelly leaving the Democrats. you got to be really bad for that to happen. Shit.
What will we do with this moment? How will we be remembered? Look at the opportunities before us.
This election really isn't about the left versus the right. It's about we, the people, choosing our government and the choice between freedom versus tyranny.
Nobody has a chronic disease burden like we have. Why are we allowing this to happen to our children? Ultimately, the only thing that will save our country is if we choose to love our kids more than we hate each other.
What is going on here is deeper than politics. It is deeply spiritual. We are being called to rise above the hatred and the fear and the evil.
we need to remember above and beyond that we must love our neighbors, that we must treat other people as we hope to be treated.
You want to be a rebel? You want to be a hippie? You want to stick it to the man? Show up on your college campus and try calling yourself a conservative.
America is going to reach heights that it has never seen before. The future is going to be amazing!
Don't you want healthy children? Don't you want a president that's going to make America healthy again? The seed of motion raining all over me.
I come to you today as a former Democrat. I will be a first-time Trump voter tonight.
I love that. Good thoughts on that thing, man. But
People dreamed this country. And it's the people who are making America great again.
Man.
The difference between that ad and Harris ad. Harris ad is all about her. She was raised a middle class kid. She did this. She did that.
Boring.
This is all about we the people. This is about it's our country. We're stopping it. He's assembled the dream team, Team America, as somebody put it earlier in one of the videos. That's the difference, Jeff. I mean, that one gets you right in the field because it makes you feel patriotic. It makes you feel like
really
you're
good.
the Democrats coming together to support Trump.
Right.
I mean, what? Would anybody have guessed that in 2016? Hell no.
Wasn't
Not
happening.
Not one person. I mean, it's taken the Democrats steering off a cliff for any of this to happen, and this is all because of the Democrats. Don't kid yourself. I mean, it's
Adrian.
That's
That's a good one though, Chip. Thoughts on the rigged voting machine? It's a major issue. It's still happening right now.
We've seen videos all over the internet where people are trying to select one thing and then it's selected another thing. We've seen, the password scenario was done in, where is that, Arizona? I mean, man, on a hidden tab. First of all, it's a federal offense. There's a woman who was spending 9 years in prison because she was trying to expose the voter fraud there, and it was Arizona. And she went to prison for 9 years. Meanwhile, you've got the person who's working in government exposing the passwords to every one of the machines. Nothing. I mean, I can just you can say is like there's a lot of evidence to ignore it. What's different here is that in 2020, a lot of it was after the fact, before they knew what was going on. Now it's happening. So ballots, fake ballots showing up, and it's just incredible, man. So
They caught a guy, and Chip, it's more than just the rigged machine. They caught a ballot mule dropping off a backpack packed with ballots into one of the drop boxes. So that's happening all over the place. Rigged voting machines. There's polling stations with one or two people working there, so they have ridiculously long lines. I mean, they're doing anything they can possibly do, and they're picking out like specific areas to make sure they're making it more and more. They're trying to definitely impact what the outcome is going to be. Plus all the illegals. So that's being seeded. Lots of chaos. What's that?
Eagles have already voted. There was a guy from China that voted. He came to get the only reason they knew was because he wanted his ballot back. And they're like, no. And then they checked it and realized he's illegal. And they said they can't retract his vote. That's reassuring. Sure. Why do they have machines at all? They don't need the machines. You know what? I mean, other countries don't use them. They have a counter that can scan it and count it. But do you trust that? I don't know. The thing is that you should have hand counts. There should be hand counts afterwards. But you can get ballots, but are they votes? I mean, in 2020, the anomalies where the signatures didn't match, there was multiple ballots that had the same exact anomalies with little tick marks here and there, and the way they were filled out, the scribbles were all the same on multiple ballots. I mean, there was a lot of fraud that went on, a lot.
Yep.
So yeah, that's a problem. But who knows? We'll see. I mean,
we get voting on blockchain. That'll solve it.
Should solve it. I'm going to put this one on another Trump ad here.
4 years ago, we took a wrong turn and lost our purpose. We lost the strength that makes Americans who we are. If we dared to speak the truth, it was called hate speech, and our values were labeled shameful. That's when everything we care about fell apart. We surrendered our borders, our paychecks, and our courage. Our patriotism was called toxic. Men could beat up women and win medals, but there was no prize for the guy who got up every day to do his job. Now we're being asked to settle for the way things are. And we're wondering if America can make a comeback. We can, because we've done it before. When we get knocked down, we don't stay down, we get up again. We fight, we fight, we fight.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this.
What'd you think of that one, Jeff?
Another good one. Solid. These are all solid messages. When you think the other one was super patriotic, that one, still focusing on what we've overcome, everything they've thrown at us, everything that, we've had to suffer over the past 4 years. So there you go.
Yeah.
This is good, VMAC. Hopefully, hopefully you got the job, which would be awesome. If you're able to work the polls at some point, would be great. I remember years ago when you'd have the levers, they'd have to come around and pick up the machines, and they would follow the machines, and they would just bring them to a random warehouse and drop them off and lock them up, and there would be no counting. They wouldn't pull any data. That was, there's also, you can go back in the history of all the machines. There's always been, a question of, are they being sincere with the outcome?
Look at this here. Eliantron says, now play the left ads and see how patriotic they are. Not patriotic. Right. All they do is attack Trump,
Yeah, they're horrible.
They don't talk about the good they've done. They talk about the good they're going to do. And of course, they didn't do any of it. So, and then we saw where they're playing two different messages to Michigan, which has the highest Muslim population in the United States. They were playing ads that talked about, Gaza and Hamas. And then in Pennsylvania, they're courting the Jewish vote. And they were talking about, always having, Kamala always going to allow Israel to defend itself. It's pathetic, right? She speaks out of two sides of her mouth, and then she plays ads out of two sides of her mouth, as if it's some grandiose marketing campaign. But let's end on this one, and then let's get out of here. It's time. Let's go.
It's better. No, let me tell you, Kamala, she does different accents, depending on where she is, down south. Let me tell you something. You boys better get it together here and vote. Save democracy. Black community, she's like, shit, let me tell you something, honey. Let me tell you right now, we ain't vote for Trump, I even saw her at a 7-Eleven going like, listen, it's very important that we vote for the Democrats. We're trying to save democracy here. We're trying to save democracy. For sure, you don't understand. You need to vote. You need to vote.
Rob Schneider, he's funny as hell. I love following him. He's red-pilled as hell, man.
Oh my God, he's the best. He is the best.
Just funny as hell. So that's all we have. That's all we have for
Steve. Aqueduct and roads. Gave us roads, paved roads. The Romans.
Yeah, he's talking about what are they, dude?
What have the Romans ever given us?
Yeah.
Monty Python.
They gave us the fact that the greatest empire in the world can fail pretty easily. When you think it's the most indestructible empire goes down, that's what they gave us. They gave us some clue. They gave us some foreshadowing is what they gave us. That's the biggest tool they gave us. So think about this.
What was the Trump roast? Which one was that?
I didn't see a Trump roast. There wasn't a Trump roast that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know, but let's get out of here. It's time to go.
No, that's it.
So
all
guys,
birds
welcome.
come to an end.
Sunday, I think Jeff's going to be live streaming on Tuesday. I am not going to be able to make that, but Jeff will be live streaming it here.
I think it'll be pretty solid.
And that's what I know. So
we missed it. That's all we got. That's all
we
we got
guys.
for tonight.
Yeah, low key show.
Very low key. A lot of videos. A lot of cool videos.
Let's go, man. We got 2 days. You guys haven't voted. I don't care who you vote for. Go out and vote.
It's terrifying. 2 more days.
Tuesday. Yeah, I voted early, man, because all kinds of weird shit can go wrong on voting day.
It's crazy. When all this happened, and think like 4 years. Like, how are we gonna survive 4 years? And here we go.
Here we go.
Hope
it's not. Yeah. Just hope it's Trump all the way, man. Let's just hope, please. We gotta be great if they win back the Senate and the presidency.
God. Belgium hanging out.
Okay, we are out too, man. Chip
hanging out late.
Chip and Jeff out. See you guys.
Let's get out here.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.